Okay, I know all of my reviews or discussion videos have been negative and I haven't made anything positive, but bear with me, I have to talk about Security Breach and how I believe this is one of the worst games of the 2020s, and is the prime example of the problem with modern video games in general, let alone horror games. At least from what I've seen. This game, in my opinion, is the worst game I could ever play, and I kind of mean it. Yeah, Security Breach is terrible. For those of you unaware, I streamed FNAF Security Breach back in December 2021 a few times or something, and I feel sort of embarrassed about them. Not because I died a lot of times, but because of something else. I guess it's because I was kind of coping, or I just couldn't come to terms with FNAF, not with modern FNAF, or I guess official FNAF not being good anymore after the recent controversies. Yeah, maybe because I said something like that I regret saying, like early on in one of the streams I said that so far was better than The Evil Within, which I really regret saying that. This game is worse than The Evil Within, and I regret spending $55 on that game when it could have gone somewhere else. I also bought it day one. God, that was such a fucking disappointment. Also, I'm going to be absolutely negative on this because it really deserves it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I sound unhinged or anything like that. I don't mean to be edgy or hurtful, or I don't mean to shit on anyone. I just want to get my thoughts out so they can get out of my head before they eat away at my soul. Allow me to go on a bit of a rant here, but I hate how FNAF is catering to kids now. It's been doing it for a while, I don't remember when. I don't mind long-running franchises. Resident Evil is still living and having as many merch games, etc. But FNAF is kind of one of those fates that's worse than Resident Evil or Silent Hill, Forbidden Siren, Evil Within, or even Dead Space, despite that series coming back. Now before you go saying, lol cat, that game is for everyone. It's a kid's game. That's precisely the damn problem. When it tries to appeal to such a broader audience, it went too far away from its roots. I'm not against kids' games trying to be scary. Maybe it's something I've never been into, and I've just lived under a rock to certain things. Aside from Scott not being involved with the series anymore, there's Funko making awful merch of FNAF, which makes low poly fan models made by kids with Cinema 4D look better. No offense to them, I'm sure they're good people who just want to have fun and learn things and experience them for themselves. FNAF NFTs, which is not good in any way whatsoever, and a few other examples which are probably talked about to death at this point. Mostly the story and how it just stops being good, and went the whole TRTF route. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but you'll see what I mean, right? Okay, now to the review. I haven't finished the game, but I really don't want to. Not just because of the many bugs the game has harbored in it, but also the god-awful difficulty and for the world just not being that interesting to explore. Hell, even the story, which is good on paper, isn't that engaging. You play as a kid named Gregory, and you have to survive a full night at the Pizza Plex. Freddy's a good guy in this game. The rest of the animatronics are trying to kill you. The story, in my opinion, is far too vague. There's only small character interactions, and even those are few and far between. The environmental storytelling is just non-existent, and the little story through secrets it has just doesn't go anywhere. The story is kinda just you trying to survive a whole night in the Pizza Plex. Also, you spend only one night in this game. Just one night. Why even call it Five Nights at Freddy's at this point? Anyways, Gregory and Freddy team up and try to survive against the many animatronics, while also trying to avoid Vanessa the security guard and Vanny, who is a new enemy or villain who is teased in the trailers and help wanted, but she barely appears through the whole game, and when she does appear it's just extremely bare bones. The tasks you have to do while trying to stay alive are obnoxious, like having to turn on many generators inside an extremely large play place in a pitch-black maze-like environment, to having to run around extremely long halls with annoying RNG AI killing you or slowing you down, to running around offices with super small buttons to stop the enemies with little to no reaction time, to... I don't know. I don't really feel like going over the story because it's just not... because it's dragged out and it's not interesting. I'll cover it at random times, so I'm not sure. The problem with the Pizzaplex is that it's far too big and there's little stuff to do in it. There are times where I would get lost and didn't know where to go because the objectives didn't make sense, and the long looping hallways get so confusing because they tend to look the same, or maybe my sense of direction is terrible. The sprint mechanic is just another one of the terrible mechanics in the game. I really don't like sprint mechanics in games. They're way too easy of a mechanic to add in and are just as easy to mess up. The problem is that the animatronics get into scripted chase sequences and they last longer than the sprint itself. So I keep failing and restarting it so many times. The mechanic where you have to hold a button to pick up simple objects is stupid and slows down the already snail's pace of the game. Maybe this works with wind-up boxes, but why normal items? And why do you have to carry so many bags in the game? It just seems odd how there are so many bags in so many locations that contain texts from customers. Admittedly, I just skipped through them, but I don't know. The game kinda fails hard to get the atmosphere of the original games. Yes, I know that's probably been said about 1,000,000 times, but I want to say that Steel Wool actually perfected the atmosphere and some bits of Help Wanted, their first FNAF game, even in the Curse of Dreadbear DLC. How did they screw it up in Security Breach? Okay, maybe that's just me because I saw gameplays of it through YouTube because I don't own a VR headset, and I heard playing it on flat mode did not help the experience. The areas are too lit up to be scary in Security Breach. You can see the animatronics from a mile away. The areas are too huge and maze-like, and navigation is far too hard. What I wouldn't give for a locator from Dead Space. And when I do know where to go, I would die by some terrible AI and I have to restart farther away because the save files are checkpoints and are extremely few and far between. Not to mention the god-awful choice the devs made to disable them near the end. No, that's not a joke. That's an actual goddamn thing in the game. Who the hell added that? I never got to that point because I could not be less interested in the game. Also, the staff bots are a sick, cruel, unfunny joke. They are placed everywhere, and if you get seen or caught, the animatronics literally teleport to you. Whoever thought of that needs to be fired. I'm sorry, I know it sounds harsh, but come on, how is this a good idea? I swear this is one of the giant problems with Security Breach, aside from the AI being stupid. The game really wasn't plays tested. I'm 90% sure of that. The animatronic designs are cool, I'll admit that, but they aren't scary in the slightest. FNAF 1 nailed the animatronics design and balanced the fear factor they presented. FNAF 2's toy animatronics weren't, while not that scary, had some neat features that could qualify as scary, with Mango being one of the best designed, and the Wither animatronics made up for the toy animatronics' lack of fear factor. FNAF 3 had Springtrap, which is the best villain design I've seen in my life. FNAF 4's horrifying nightmare animatronics, while trying too hard to be scary, still, I love them for going all out with it. FNAF Sister Location's Funtime animatronics look fantastic, while maybe not as scary as I'd hoped. Still, the charm remained. Ennard's design, in general, another one of my favorites. FNAF 6, while the designs were weaker and not that menacing, still stuck out in many ways, even in the worst ways. Security Breach barely has any intimidating designs. None of them stand out that much. Glamrock Freddy is a good guy, so I can give him a pass, but the rest are boring. The endos are unnerving, but that's the only kind of scary design. And it looks scary in the dark, but up close and lit up, they look goofy. Also, why would they show naked endoskeletons to kids? Don't believe me? There's a massive picture of children with the endoskeletons. I don't care that much for the staff bots. It's at this point where I stopped playing Security Breach because it got way too frustrating and hard, so I had to look up playthroughs by other people through YouTube. Graphically, the game looks fine, it's nothing to write home about. The Pizzaplex looks great. There's a lot of stuff to explore which works against the game. Everything has style to it, though some areas are really questionable from the standpoint of the lore. The cutscenes look decent enough. One issue is that some animation frame rates are really low, like the staff bot mopping the floor. It just looks goofy. The monitors that show the cameras also have low frame rates, and it looks really dumb how big and futuristic the place is, while the frame rate and quality from the camera feed on the monitors are really low. Also, the shops are just way too big and maze, like mentioned before, at least from my experience. They just go in so many twists and turns, it gets awkward. The voice acting is serviceable for the most part. Kellen Goff as Glamlock Freddy, Sundrop, Moondrop, and a bunch of others. The others are really good too, but I just wish they sounded more intimidating. Another problem is the jump scares. They look so goofy and over-exaggerated that it's hard to take them seriously or fear them. There isn't even that much build-up to them, and you don't even need to predict them. Also, the comic cutscenes are okay, but they don't clash well with the 3D animated cutscenes. It just feels jarring switching from one decent style to one less appealing style. If you like them, that's fine. For me, I have preferred art styles over others. I searched up the endings and they really don't make that much sense. The Burn Trap ending is uninspired and disappointing and a flat-out shotgun blast to the face. It just shows that FNAF is going to continue to bring back William for dumb reasons. The mystery is just lost. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind mysteries coming to an end, like all do at some point, but when you try to bring stuff back again and again after a conclusion or finale that runs out of charm, or is there for the sake of being there, it's just cheap and exhausting. The endings range from Gregory being able to ride a car to Freddy being killed or alive. Fanny's human face is revealed in one of them. Out of all the endings, the ones that make sense are Fanny dying by the staff boss, where you choose to leave the Pizzaplex and you find out Gregory is homeless and there being missing people in the newspaper. I honestly don't have much to say anymore. The series is just ruined. The franchise catering to kids is what started to kill the series since FNAF's sister location. It's not going to look better for the games. I'm not buying any more official FNAF games anymore. As the Ruin DLC is coming up, I just hope it will fix the issues of the game and return to what made FNAF good in the first place. However, something tells me that's going to be impossible, or at least really unlikely. Also, MatPat's theories are garbage at this point. Like the child protagonist of Ruin being Elizabeth is just fucking stupid. FNAF is literally less than a shell of its former self. It's an old decaying mascot suit. Nothing more if not lesser. I'll only be in the fan corner of FNAF. The community, while controversial at times, it has more heart than what Security Breach had. I'm not trying to discredit or I'm not trying to antagonize Steel Wool. I'm sure they worked hard on this game, but I just really did not like what they did when Security Breach. No, just please do not attack them. I'm just saying. Also, to all of you saying, Capped, it's a kid's game. It's for everyone. What are you complaining? Just because it's a game for kids, it doesn't mean it's free of criticism. You can't just blindly accept the flaws and say it's great. Being a fan doesn't mean blindly loving all aspects. You're not a fan. You're a simp. A fanboy or fangirl. You just like the game for no reason, just from the looks of things. If you were fans, you would be able to give good criticism and share what you think needs improvement. That's how Fiznom got to make FNAF Plus. He told Scott what he would improve on in each and every FNAF game and how to make it better. That's why he got permission to remake FNAF 1. I understand why people, even Phil, want to leave FNAF. If you're saying he's an idiot or he overreacted, he actually has every right to be pissed after the retcons, the loss of what made FNAF special, the terrible storytelling, the terrible merch the game got before release, and so many other things, but time has repeated that cycle so many times that I'm flat out used to it. Honestly, I'm just depressed with the way FNAF has gone. For those of you saying, nobody cares about your series, it's not special. FNAF was a massive part of my childhood. It made me happy. It gave me inspiration. It showed me that just because a concept was stupid and was oversimplistic, it could still be done in a way that's amazing. To me, FNAF is special. For you, it's not. But that's fine. Like whatever you want. I don't care. But if you're going to antagonize me for liking something which has actually happened to someone I followed once, then just fucking leave. People, products, media, etc. are special in different ways. It doesn't have to be worldwide or anything of that sort. Yes, there are times where that isn't true, and there are concepts that are really overrated, but look closer to how the execution is done and judge there for yourself. Why don't you look at playthroughs to give some insight for you to judge for yourself? That's how I started with FNAF. Again, if you like this game, that's fine, but I just don't get the praise. But still, like whatever you want, I won't try to change your mind. It's better if I just get over my disappointment and move on with other things. This is pretty much the end of this video. I'm just done with anything official with this series. I might play the ruined DLC or watch the movie in hopes that maybe some charm will be recaptured, but the chances are far too unlikely. Maybe I'll give Security Breach another chance since I heard it got patched, but it's gotta be close to impossible because of what I encountered there. Hopefully this is the last negative review I make. Also, I'm really hoping that FNAF Plus brings back the fear, panic, and terror of the previous games, and judging from the advertising and from what I've seen of Fiznom's previous work and who he is, I'd say there's a massive chance he can deliver. I really hope FNAF Plus recaptures the magic that the first game brought. It probably will, but for now I need to lower my expectations because I'm tired of disappointing shit coming out these days. Thank you for watching. Hit the bell to get notified when the next video comes. Subscribe for more content. Hit that like button if you did. Comment your feelings down below. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Oh, and yeah, happy birthday, Security Breach. It feels weird. It doesn't feel that weird saying it, but you may not be as good as people might say, or I'm not sure, but yeah. I guess I may as well just get it off my chest.